Thank you for coming back to 26 Sports. This is episode 26. I'm on with the one and only and possibly future title challenger, Sulem Urbina. How are you doing today, Sulem?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here with you. Thank you for the invite.
No problem, no problem. Now, let's get into it. Let's talk. Big news came out about maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. Fight was finally announced, something that's been in the works for a while now, about you and Marlen Ezparza fighting in the WBC flyweight title eliminator. So, I mean, you've seen the response, obviously, from the fans and everybody. Me personally, because we've talked about that fight before many times. We talked about you getting into that higher range. I was excited for you. I was pumped up. And then the fact that it's you and Marlen, I know it's going to be a great fight. I know the fans are going to love it. So, how long before you said yeah when they first offered you that fight? Did you say yeah?
So they called me. Well, actually, they called my husband, and then he called me. I said yes. 5 minutes. He called back. He said yes right away. We didn't even discuss the details. We just knew we wanted the fight. And then they called her, and then a week later, we received the response that it was a done deal.
Okay. And now, again, we had talked about it. We had talked about, who would you like to fight? And you mentioned names. You did mention Marlon and Sinisa. I kind of felt more of you kind of wanted more Marlon as soon as possible as opposed to Sinisa because I think you felt you already knew how Sinisa probably would, be busy with her other fights, like, especially after her last win. So was I right that maybe you wanted Marlon right then and there as opposed to Sinisa right away?
Well, Sanisa's a really good friend of mine. I mean, if we do fight each other, hopefully it's later on when we're both up there. We both have some belts and we both get some good money for it. We're really good friends, and I know that when we do step in there, it's gonna be a great fight. But I think that we should make it worth something.
Okay.
Marlene, obviously, she's coming off of that loss with Sanisa. And last year she said that I was avoiding her. So, I mean, the sooner the better. And it's happening now.
Yeah.
So I guess, hey, it's a done deal. And it's going down October 30th.
Yeah, and I mean, as I said, I know you've seen it. I know all of us seen the response you got. I mean, to a point, I was a little surprised how quickly everybody was like, yeah, 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 let's get it. Like, the main event that night is not a bad main event. The co-main is not a bad co-main, but I feel like most of the talk centered around you and Martin. Like it took it. It was, Alex Rocha and I cannot remember his
Rashidi
name now.
Ellis.
Rashidi Ellis, and we got Mungia and Terreno Johnson, and it was like, oh, but did you see Marlon and Sulim are gonna fight? It was like that's where everything went to, and for me personally, it was like yes, that was the one that I was like, oh, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Oh, they're fighting. I text Robert. I was like, hey, great job. And I'm getting messages like, hey, did you see they're gonna fight? Did you see they're gonna fight? People that watched you the last time you were on were like, hey, that girl that you had on last time, she's gonna fight that Olympic girl, huh? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, but to those that don't know, this is also the second time you guys are actually fight, or second time, correct? Because you guys fought in the
This is
amateurs.
actually I think so. No, third. I think
Third. There
third.
you go. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you guys have fought before. You guys have been in
Yeah.
a ring, not a professional one, but you still have been in the ring before. So now, seeing the response you're getting from the fans, from people just in general, how did that make you feel? Like, how much more were you like, okay, yes, like more people are drawn to it? How did that make you feel?
Well, I felt really happy, first of all, because, through this pandemic that we're going through, the fans want to see great fights be made.
Definitely.
And I think this is one of those fights. Um, it's definitely a fight that can steal the show.
Oh
Um,
yes.
um, and everybody's excited for it. The story behind it, everything, from the amateurs to now. Um, the amateurs and the pros, they're two different ball games, you know.
Yes.
And I feel that the fans are just very supportive of me. Um, you know, Marlen has a huge following also.
Yeah.
I'm just excited. I'm excited, you know, whether they're cheering for her or they're cheering for me, you know, they're gonna be watching.
Definitely.
So it's great for us women to be on that stage and to get that praise from the fans. You know, it's great that they're excited about this matchup.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I can't wait for it because it's. I mean, to me, like I said, I've been pumped up about it since I heard about it, and then once I heard that it was it was you two, like done deal, and for sure it was like yes, yes, like finally, and as you said, the pandemic has slowed so many things down that it was like, man, we weren't sure who was gonna fight, when you're gonna fight, anything like that. That's what kind of got us like, man, well, hopefully you're able to fight. Well, you may not be able to fight, this and that. And now it's like, oh, it's going down. You guys are gonna fight. So, I mean, again, I haven't been more excited for a fight since maybe, honestly, Lomachenko Lopez, just for the fact that I know you and I know how much you wanted this fight. And I know how much boxing needs this type of fight. So I mean, I'm getting messages right now from people asking me if you're on live, and I'm like, yes. So, um, I mean, it's something that I was pumped for when I heard it, and now that it's going down, I can't wait. And it's 2 weeks away, really now, 2 weeks away. So,
It's 2 weeks away. I'm anxious already. You know, I want training camp to end. I want to fight already. I want to win. I'm excited. Just the whole build up, everything, you know. It's a huge fight for me. Obviously, not only because it's televised on such a big stage,
yes.
because you know it's a title eliminator. It's the next step into what I want, you know, and I'm just extremely excited. I can't express how excited I am.
And I could tell because usually you're more like hyperactive, and I could tell your mind is already in like fight mode. I could see it. I could tell. I mean, that's getting me more anxious to watch it because I could see you're already in the zone. I could see it. um and as you said, it's on the platform. The zone has had a bit of struggle this year with things, the whole Canelo situation, the Ryan Garcia situation for a bit, but they're actually ending the year out pretty good. We got Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell in December, and then we got your guys' fight October 30th. That whole card, honestly, I mean, I feel like your fight's probably going to steal the show, but I feel like each one of those fights has the potential to just draw all the eyes to make everybody watch it. And and again,
I
to me,
believe so. I mean, I'm really excited about Rashidi Ellis and Alexis
oh, I
Rocha.
love that fight.
I
I
mean,
love that fight.
it's. I mean, I've been friends with Alexis Rocha for a very long time. He's actually my little brother's former teammate on Team USA.
Hmm.
Rashidi Ellis, he's just, you know, he has that strength, you know. He's so sharp and strong, and you know they're both undefeated. They're putting
Yeah.
their undefeated records on the line, and you know when you see two undefeated fighters face each other, it's, you know, the fans love that, and I think it's a great co-main event.
Oh,
But
definitely.
Marlen and I are, you know, a huge fight on that card. Everybody knows it. We're two well-known names. Um, I'm just excited. It's a huge opportunity that I can't let go, you know.
Yeah, and I've seen the videos that you have posted of you, training or running or how you look at the end of it. You're putting in all that work, and as long as I've known you, you've always put in that work. But I feel like now you even have more of an edge because it's the fight that you want. It's the fight that you've been waiting for. It's the moment that you've been waiting for. So again, I'm pumped up for that fight, that whole card. But again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it's just the moment it was announced, I was on the phone with Robert like, thank you so much for making this fight. Because and at that, my thing has been too, as you know, with women, I'm trying whatever I can do. If I could build a little bit more with my platform that I have to help get it more out there, I'm going to. I've had Ebony Bridges, Christina Poncher. I've had you on a couple times. Diva, Franchon Cruz, the Zern. I've had her on before. And the way the year's ending with all these fights, a lot of these women fights are the ones that are going to be still in the show. And then, I mean, speaking of the zone, they have that big card where it's 3 women title fights on that card, I believe November 14th. So
Yeah.
it's not even, oh, it's boxing. It's, to me, it's women. It's women's boxing. It's women in sports right now. That's making a big push.
Women are, taking advantage of this time. A lot of fighters aren't taking fights because the pay isn't good or this and
Yeah.
that. And, women are stepping up. They're, we're hungry. You had a few months ago, Tasha Jonas versus Terry Harper, which was a
Great
great
fight.
fight. Taylor Pursoon, too,
Yes.
great fight.
That stole the
Breakfast
show.
McCaskill.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Taylor Pursoon should have been the main event in my eyes.
Yeah. I get it. It's the heavyweight fight that it was. It was White and Povetkin, and it was a good fight. I mean, it had a spectacular knockout, but Taylor and Pursoon put on a show. I mean, Pursoon showed that heart, showed that she could hang with Taylor to a level that nobody else has showed yet. And Taylor, to her credit, she went above what we've already seen. We knew she was great, and that day, because of the fight that Pursoon had brought to her, she looked even better. And yeah, it should have been main event or should have been given its own show, but they had to, also with the pandemic, they have to build up these cards to keep the interest, because if someone says, "Oh, there's only one good fight," someone
Yeah.
I might forget to watch it, or I'll just catch it later. But when you put fights like that, it's like, oh, you don't want to miss it, because if you miss that one and you miss this one, then who knows? Like the 30th card, it's like, oh, you can't miss this fight. Oh, but then you don't want to miss this. Oh, you don't want to miss Marlen and Sulem. You don't want to miss Munguia. You don't want to miss Rocha and Alice. You have to
Yeah.
tune in the entire night. So the one
It's like
positive I would
this
say,
weekend,
oh
Loma
my God,
Lopez, the world is,
is
in
watching.
shock that it's happening.
Yeah,
But you also have Barbosa and Salcedo
I
on the
love that
co-main
fight.
event. And I'm super excited about that one.
Yes.
I'm rooting for Barbosa all the way. But it has everything to, steal the show
Yeah.
because they're two strong men. They both want it. They're both hungry, and I'm pumped about it.
Yeah, and I've seen both of them fight in person, and it's tough for me to call it because Barbosa has improved so much lately. Like, you've seen the improvement as he's gone on. Salcedo, I've seen at times his improvement, and at times he falls back into what's gotten him in problems in other fights.
Yeah.
But it's boxing. It only takes one punch, and they both have that one punch that could change a fight in an instant, and that's
Yeah.
what adds more drama to it.
I really like Barbosa. I think he's been improving he has skill. He's smart. He does things for a reason also.
Yeah,
He's strong, but he does things for a reason. Salcedo in his last fight, you saw the improvement that he
yep,
made. He started moving his head. He looked a lot better. So I'm excited. I think after Barbosa suffered that loss, he realized the mistakes that he was making and
yep,
made a change, and he's been looking better.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, they're los dos son gallos.
yep,
They're both Mexican, and they like to fight. So it's like you said, that one punch can change everything.
yep.
So I'm excited about that fight.
And an old saying that's around is old habits die old. Salcedo, he's improved the head movement, as you said, maneuvering around the ring, but he might catch a punch from Barbosa, and it might just trigger like, oh, we're gonna go to
Yeah.
war. We're gonna stand here and
Yeah.
we're gonna fight, as opposed to let me slide away. He might just stand right in front of him, and
Yeah.
at that point,
I
it's who knows what
I
happens.
mean, we all witnessed a historic fight in Cepeda and Baranchik not too long ago.
Yes,
I
and
mean, that fight, I've been so excited since it was supposed to happen in July.
yes,
I posted on my social media, dude, this fight is a great fight. Like, I
yeah,
was so excited. When it didn't happen, I was sad about it. And now when it finally did, my eyes were glued to the TV. And it's a historic fight. It's
yeah,
going down in history. I mean, who sees that?
yeah,
Who
and that fight when it was originally announced, I was like, it's gonna be a good fight, but I always thought Baranchek is gonna rush, rush, rush. I was like, Cepeda's gonna win because of his movement. He's gonna move, stick and
Yeah.
move, box, and he's gonna catch him. And I thought if he gets pulled into Baranchek's game, it's gonna be all bad for Cepeda because I don't know if he has that level of power that's gonna bother him. And after he
Yeah.
knocked him down the first time, I said, "Oh shit, this is gonna be a war." Like
Yeah.
Baranchek had knocked him down, but he wasn't hurt. When Cepeda
I
got
feel
him,
like when Cepeda caught him every time hurt
oh
Baranchik
yes,
more than what Baranchik hurt Cepeda.
yeah. The only one I think hurt, well, the two that hurt Cepeda were the last two. The one when he had hurt him, rushed him,
And then he
and
walked
Baranchik,
into the uppercut.
yeah, that
Yeah.
one he was hurt because you could see his eyes like okay. But if you notice, he then like stays calm, goes back, but he
Yeah.
doesn't go crazy, and he was able to withstand it. The one where he gets knocked back into the ropes, if the ropes weren't there,
Yeah.
obviously he falls. But you could see he was a little hurt, but he knew that Baranchek knew he was hurt, and that's why he ended up knocking him out because Baranchek came in like, I got this, and Cepeda used that ring IQ and caught him with that beautiful combination in the fight. I mean, it was
It was surreal. I couldn't
yes,
believe what was going on watching it. I rewatched it like two or three
yeah,
times
I have
already.
to.
It's a great fight. Definitely one for the books,
Yeah,
going
when
down in history.
when Cepeda knocked him down the first time, the one that wasn't called, I
Yeah.
immediately said, "Okay, this is gonna be it." Because I was like, Baranchek is dropping him but not hurting him. I was like, and now Cepeda knows he can hurt him. Now he knows
Yeah.
he could cause damage. This is gonna be a war. And I was
Dude,
just
and
sitting there.
and Cepeda's trouble now. Like in the
Yeah.
division, he finally realized how good he is and what
Yes.
he's capable of. And being honest, I felt that he won that first fight against Ramirez. So
And you know
I
what?
I edged it out to him.
I,
It was a close fight, but
yeah.
I feel like he did enough to take the win. And I love Ramirez, but that's just how I saw the fight. And I'm excited for when it happens again.
If it happens again, because
It should
it
happen again because he's the mandatory.
well, he's the mandatory, but just now, but the
Taylor, the
the
unification.
unification overrides it, and it's already been
Yeah,
agreed to. So with that Ramirez and Cepeda fight, I was there, and in person, I will say it was different than on TV because when I watched it later, I was like, "Damn, Cepeda looked like he was really giving him the business." But in person, those
yeah,
a lot of those punches didn't seem to affect Ramirez as it seemed on the TV. So it was kind of like, damn. But I was
yeah,
still giving him rounds. I was like, no, Zepeda's putting to work. He's putting to work. But then towards the end, because where I was at, Cepeda was right in my eyesight, and I could see him at the end of every round. It was like, so I was like, okay,
yeah,
Ramirez is now starting to get to him. So that's when I started giving Ramirez the rounds, and I honestly had it. I could have said 7-5 either way or a draw. I would have been fine with. So that's why when it was
yeah,
a majority, I believe by 1 point or 2 points, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Now, if it would have been, 10-2 or 9-3 like we've seen, then we know that would have been a clear cut robbery. That close though, I understood, and either way would have been fine. But
yeah.
Zepeda's gonna fight on the undercard of Ramirez and Taylor against Jack Catterall, the other
Oh wow.
mandatory. So that's already been agreed to as well. So that card also, whenever it happens, I believe probably January or February, maybe March, is gonna be a hell of a card as well.
Dude, there's a lot of great fights coming up, and
No,
then I heard Joshua Fury. So,
yeah,
dude, I'm
because
excited.
because of the Wilder fight, I guess, missing its date. So Fury's got it, or Joshua's got to get to Pulev, which is not going to be an easy task because Pulev is a tough, tough fighter. Um, and then Fury, whoever he fights, I would love for Fury to fight Michael Hunter. Honestly, that's the fight I would love to see because I feel Michael Hunter is a wild card in the division and deserves a shot. Um, Honestly, if I had my favorite pick, I would give it to Usyk. Give Usyk to Fury and let's
Oh,
see what would happen. Usyk to
I,
me is
I,
my pound for pound right now.
yeah, I think Usyk is gonna clean the division. I think it's between him and Fury, honestly,
Yeah, and that's no
because
disrespect to
Fury's
Joshua. It's just the skills to me. That's all it
yeah,
is.
yeah, it's the skill. I think Fury, he's very smart. I
Yeah,
mean, and then he got up from that right
Wilder.
hand from
Yeah,
Wilder like the Undertaker, like
yeah,
nothing.
Eh, eh.
So and he can move.
Yeah. For his
So
size, it's
I think
incredible.
Usyk and Fury are my two favorite heavyweights.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you see that right hand from Wilder, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, it was just a lucky shot." It's not. Wilder has, for everything that they throw at him, he has a 1-2 that is textbooks. That left hand jab and that right hand is textbook because people can't get out the
That's
way
his
of it.
money. That's his
Yeah,
money. That right hand, that's his money. That's his punch.
yeah,
It's not lucky. It's his
yeah,
thing.
it's a skill. It's a real legit skill. So when he lands it, it's over. If for 99% of the people that he's landed it on, it's been over. Fury got up, and I think honestly that probably triggered something out of Fury where he said, "Okay, if I could take the shot, I'm okay. I've returned. I'm fine." And I think that's what it was, and that's why in the second fight, I mean, he knew I took his best shot and I got up. I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
again. Or he
And
thought
honestly, I felt that he still won that first fight.
I gave him more rounds, but because of the two knockdowns, I had it a draw because of the two knockdowns. But obviously, Fury won more rounds, but I gave it a draw
Yeah.
because of the knockdowns. Obviously, in the second fight,
Yeah.
Fury completely dominated from beginning to end. So,
Dude, I'm excited.
oh yeah,
It's a
definitely,
lot of great stuff coming up, and hopefully, the world can get past this, can get through this, and just get back to normal because it's been a tough few months.
yeah,
Not being able to just live a normal life,
yeah,
and I feel for the kids in school the way you know I was close to a school the other day, and the park that I run at, the teachers are telling the kids not to get close to each other, and it's just, imagine
yeah.
how that is traumatizing the kids,
As a
nowadays. And
kid, yeah,
I hope we get past this soon.
yeah. It's that's the thing is it's for a kid. It's not like you're talking to a grown adult that could understand. It's a kid who it's the tendency is I want to be with my friends. I want to play. I want to have fun. Um, for the most part, I will say I've been very happy with how the kids have responded as opposed to other people. Like the mask thing, we for the majority of it, we don't like it wearing a mask, but we do it because we understand why. Kids, I was like, man, these kids are gonna be like, I don't want to wear a mask, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But for the most part, they're like, okay. And then you see other people, it's like, don't argue about it, just do it, get in, get out, and go. Like, it's
It's
not that hard.
exactly like, I mean, I get it if you don't want to wear a mask. I personally don't like to wear masks,
Me
but
either.
hey, if it makes other people comfortable, and I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll wear my mask.
yeah,
And I hope that in this time we all learn to not just take care of our health right now, but always,
yeah,
to eat healthy, take care of our bodies, give good fuel to our bodies, just sleep well, all that stuff,
yeah.
because all that influences our health, not just wearing a mask and washing your hands.
Yeah, and that was something that I've been telling people is like I'm a bigger guy, but right before all this started happening, I was doing research on things like things that help you out, like with health. So I started doing maca root and sea moss, and I've honestly seen a big difference for it. And then besides that, I always used to take like the vitamins that are for immunity, things like that. I've always been taking that for years. So um, I've told people, yeah, I'm a bigger guy, but I've always been like that. And with this, it's I do feel people need to notice that because a lot of the things is, well, if you're obese or you have this and then you catch the virus, it's a harder effect to you as opposed to a person that's in normal or better shape. So I do feel like this maybe could help us in that sense. But to your point too about the
Yeah.
mask, I hate to wear a mask. Honestly, I don't like it, but I do it, and I understand why we do it. So I don't have a problem with it. Like, hey, I don't like it, but I'll do it because I understand the need for one. So it's just the way it is right
Exactly.
now.
And it's just things are so sensitive nowadays that you have to be very careful with what you say or what you don't
Yeah.
say, you know. I was pretty harshly criticized on Twitter for posting something about COVID,
Yes, I
and
seen that.
people just people take things out of context. You know, the way I see things is you should always be a positive person. You know, look at the bright side, and I'm not a person that's afraid of what's gonna happen. You know, what's gonna happen is gonna happen regardless. You know, there's a saying in Spanish: "Cuando te toca
Yep.
y cuando no, cuando sí, ni aunque te quites." You know,
See.
it's your when it's time, it's time.
Yep.
Um, and then people forget that Latin humor is very different from
Yes.
other cultures. You know, Latinos clown on everything,
We
and
can laugh in the worst of times, honestly, and it's
exactly. And I'm a person that likes to be positive. I don't like to be afraid, and I think that we should always make the best of today, and today's what you have. And I've been like that pre-COVID.
yeah,
I've always been like that. I learned that at a young age, and I always say goodbye to my parents because I don't know that they'll be here tomorrow. There's not a
yes,
day that I don't kiss them on the cheek and tell them goodbye,
yeah,
because that's who I am.
and and honestly, you never know, and that's one of my things that I've always told people is I've been told by so many people is I'm good with stressful situations or crazy things, and my thing is if it's something that I have no control over, I'm not going to fret about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to be scared by it because it's something that I can't control. So why am I going to be like that about it? Because at the end of the day, if it's not something you can control, you
Yeah,
can't just sit there and like, oh my god. And I understand for some people the fear because again, like the older people, people's parents, people's family who may be sick, definitely understand, and I don't wish that on nobody. But for me, it's
yeah,
like, man, like I can't go outside and be like, I'm gonna put something up right here and it's not gonna get past, so I'm fine. But I need to go to work. I need to go get groceries. I need to be able to be outside with my daughter. I can't sit there and think, man, what if I get it now? What if this person gets it? What if that person gets it? I had an uncle who had it. I mean, I had a niece who had it. My niece
mhm.
was able to handle it a lot easier. My uncle said it was one of the worst pains he's had. And
My
it's,
dad.
yeah, I remember you saying that.
My dad had it too. My dad had it too, and he's like, pinche coronavirus.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I had a couple friends who had it, and they were like, man, they're like, I thought I was gonna die. They're like, I was scared to go to sleep, but then I was thinking, damn, if this takes away the pain, screw it. And I was just like, come on, man.
Yeah,
They're like, but it hurt. They're like, it really hurt. But like they said, it was something they couldn't control. Like it just happened.
yeah.
And I tell a lot of people,
My my
I think I
my
had it
dad
last year.
tells me, he's like, you gotta live, you gotta live. Don't worry about anything. He
Yeah,
says to me all the time. And that's how I live.
yeah,
And you can't get offended by that.
yeah.
You can't get offended by people living fearlessly. It's living fearlessly does not mean
Reckless.
living reckless.
Yeah,
I'm still cautious. I take care of my health. I take care of my family's health. I'm just, I'm a free soul.
yeah. In my house, we have probably 60 hand soaps and sanitizer at like every spot, and the wipes for everything. We have all of that. But same thing, like when I go outside, I'm not like, oh, like honestly, when I go outside of my house in the front, backyard, wherever, I don't wear a mask. I don't wear a mask when I drive, but when I go in somewhere, when I go to work, anything like that, yeah, I
Yeah.
put my mask on. But besides
Yeah,
that, I
I'm the
just
same
can't.
way. I'm the same way when I'm around like in close places that with people that I don't know, like in stores and stuff,
Yeah,
then I wear my mask. But other than that, I don't. I mean, when I'm outside, I don't really see a point,
yeah,
and I'm like in a park by myself. I don't
yeah,
see a point wearing a mask.
yeah,
But I mean, it's tough times. It's
yeah.
I know it's scary, but you know, I'm a positive person, and if something happens, you know, I accept it.
Yeah, and I honestly think we're gonna get through this because if there's one thing, as no matter how bad it's ever gotten, we as people somehow push through at the end. We always somehow go through it and just keep fighting. And as you said, some things that are gonna come from this is some people are gonna have to notice that not everybody is the same with how they react to stressful or frightening situations. And that's the thing is I understand if you're scared like that, I got your back. I'm gonna be there for you. But I'm not that way. I'm just
Yeah.
not that way, and it's not to take a shot at you, make fun of you, disrespect you. I'm just not like I've been in stressful situations. I've been in tough things. I've had things happen to me, and it's kind of like I mean, it was out of my control. So why am I gonna let this do that to me? I'm not talking down on nobody. It's just the way it is. We can't let something we can't see take over how we feel and how we go about our life. That's the way I see it.
Exactly. That's exactly how I see it also.
And again, it's not to talk bad on anybody, so I hope no one feels
Yeah.
disrespected. So
Yeah, I hope not. I hope
yeah,
not.
and
People take things a completely different route lately, and I
yeah,
hope they don't, you know?
yeah, I got nothing but love for everybody out there. People, trust me. Sean Fitzgerald and Abraham Gonzalez both say hello. Abraham said Salim with the bicep up, and Sean's giving a wave. So, what's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing good. Now, a couple more questions before we go here, Salim. Now, now again, the fight's made. What is on your mind, and what is your goal for the fight? Like, what are you gonna try to do? Is there a certain way you want to win, or are you just trying to go in there, steal the show, make your mark, and go on to the title shot?
I mean, I don't know which Marlen's gonna show up, you know? I don't know if it's gonna be the aggressive one or the one that is gonna run around the ring and try to pity pat. So, so we'll see. We'll see which Marlen shows up. I just gotta show up ready, you know. I know what I have. I know what I bring to the table, and I know that she's gonna come ready. Um, whichever way it is, I just have to win.
Yeah,
I mean, win. Use all the tools in my pouch to win.
definitely. Now, is there anything you want to say directly to Marlon right now?
I mean, she loves to talk. She loves to hear herself talk. She does no wrong. Everybody else around her just hates her. She does no wrong. So whatever. I mean, I don't care. It is what it is. Come October 30th, we're getting in there, and it's not about talking anymore.
All right, there you go. You guys heard that. Now, let me get your prediction for Saturday night, Lomachenko and Lopez, because I know you love that fight as well.
You know, I keep going back and forth. I can't decide. You know, I'm leaning more towards Loma. You know, he's high tech. He's so smart. He's his method of training. You know, he's on a whole different level. He's a world class athlete. And then Teofimo, just you know, he's fearless. He's strong. He's the bigger man. He's, you know, that right hand. He's. I keep going back and forth. You know, I think Loma's gonna win, and then I think, oh, what if Teofimo catches him with that one punch? You know. Um, so I honestly have no clue, but I'm leaning a little more towards Loma, and I am Team Loma. I've been a fan of his since '08 when I saw him fight against the Russian
Okay, in the
in the
Olympics.
Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since then, I've been a Loma fan since then, and I just love everything he does in the ring. Um, Teofimo, I'm not a fan of. I was around him in Argentina when he qualified for the Olympics, and I just didn't like the way he carried himself. You know, that interview where he says that he doesn't like Loma because of how Loma carries himself outside the ring. That's exactly why I dislike Teofimo. You know, he has great skills, great skills. He's explosive. He gives the show, but I just don't like the way he is outside the ring. So I'm rooting for Team Loma.
And you know, I've heard that from people about Teofimo. When I met Teofimo was, I want to say, 2015, maybe 2016. And when we spoke, he was probably one of the most humble people I've ever met. But it was just me and him one on one. Now, when I met
Yeah.
his dad is hilarious. His dad gives Angel Garcia a run for his money. Um, but yeah, with
Dude,
Teofimo,
his dad, when we were in Argentina, you know, the Cuban coaches are very private.
mm-hmm,
They're extremely private. They keep to themselves. And, you know, they have a lot of medals in world championships, Olympics. They have a lot of successful athletes. The guy comes up to the Cuban coach from behind, smacks him in the back, like, turn around, look at me. And then the coach turns around, and then the dad starts going like this. You see this right here? Teofimo, Teofimo. Remember that name, because that kid's gonna beat Lázaro. He's gonna beat the shit out of Lázaro like that,
yeah,
disrespecting the Cuban. It got so bad that even Robesi Ramirez got into it with Teofimo's dad.
I've actually
Like,
heard
and
that
the
story. I
way,
believe.
yeah, I was there. I was standing right next to Robezi. We had to like kind of like separate the whole group. Teofimo grabbed his dad. Um, it was crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
since then I'm not a fan of Teofimo because of the way he carried himself there. I mean, I didn't like that, and I understand the whole Latinos should stick together,
Yeah.
but then him and his group started calling my teammates frijoleros, and I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
that's not happening.
Yeah. And,
So I'm not a Teofimo fan.
and see with me, I tell people all the time because a lot of people ask me, who do you think's gonna win this fight? And I'm like, oh, this guy or that guy. And they're like, oh, but he's Puerto Rican, he's Mexican. You're not going for him. I'm like, it's not a going for person anything anymore. And then also, to me, it's not race no more. It's not Latino, Mexican, white, black. If I have a favorite fighter, if I think this guy's good, that's how I go. I'm not biased towards anybody. I don't pick on those things like that no more. It's just if I think this guy's gonna win, I'm gonna say it. And and
Yeah,
as you said, yeah, it's yeah, we should be together. But also in boxing, it's we can't deny. Oh, hey, this guy's better than this guy. I got a lot of flack last year for picking Errol Spence over Mikey Garcia, but it was I'm sorry, that's the way I see the fight, and I wasn't wrong. And I
yeah.
love Mikey, I love Robert, I love them, but it's the way I've seen it. It's
I
the
wish
truth.
I wish Mikey would have still been 135. Can you
No,
imagine all the great fights at 135? Oh my god.
him and Loma has been my father's dream fight for about 6 years, I believe. Since Loma came out, that was his fight that he wanted to see was Mikey and Loma, and he still tells me I wish they would do it, but I don't think it'd be the same now. But he still wants to see it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, Juanma and Gamboa. That was a lot of people's dream fight for a
Yeah.
while, and it never happened. Brandon Rios,
Yeah.
Victor Ortiz, all those types of fights.
So it's like a lot of people asking if it's too soon for Lopez. No, it's the right
Nope,
time because it's the fight all the fans want to
and it's the
see.
fight he
You know,
wants.
and it's the fight he wants exactly. And you know, it's like you said, a lot of great fights didn't happen for one reason or another. This one is actually happening at the time when everybody wants to see
Yep.
it. You know, Mayweather Pacquiao, biggest flop ever. You know, it was a horrible, boring fight. It was. It didn't happen when everybody wanted it. everybody watched, yeah,
Yeah,
but it wasn't what
it
it
wasn't
should have
what we
been.
thought it was gonna be.
No, at
And
all.
and to me, again, I love Pacquiao. I feel that it was more on him because I told people Mayweather's not gonna go in there and go, brawl him. He's gonna do what he does. He's gonna outbox him, move, jab, and do that. It's on Pacquiao to pull him into his fight, which he never was able to do. I think had they
Yeah,
fought in 2010 when we originally wanted it, it probably would have been a lot closer. But I still think Mayweather was going to win because I tell people when Mayweather got dragged into those type of fights, he showed the dog that he could be. When he fought Cotto, when he
yeah,
fought Maidana, it just that what Pacquiao that would have been what we wanted to see was that drag out. Let's beat the hell out of each other and see who wins. And I think
yeah,
Mayweather still would have got him, but obviously would have been the fight that we wanted to see. And real quick, we got a couple
exactly.
more sending you messages. We got War Series Moncho Chimping saying what's up, asking for shout outs, and I believe Jeffrey Sassany said that he believes your pick is a bad pick and not to put money down on the Lomachenko pick.
Oh, I didn't. I don't bet money. I only bet on myself.
Yeah. Um, in my opinion on that fight, Lomachenko is the rightful favorite. Lopez, though, is a real live fighter in that fight, without a doubt.
That,
As you said, he's the
and that's
bigger
why I
fighter.
keep going back and forth. I don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Lomachenko's going to dominate him or this and that. And it's like, he may. The difference to me is that when Lomachenko has fought fighters that are bigger, he showed a little bit of a human side. I mean, Linares dropped him. And I think Lopez is stronger than Linares. So if he lands that shot, I don't know if Lomachenko gets up. And if he lands it and Lomachenko does get up, can he move away from him as he did with Linares? I don't know because Lopez is so young, so explosive, and he wants this fight. As you said, it's not that it's
Exactly.
happening too early or anything like that. He wants this fight. He asked for it, and that's where I give respect to the fighters that say, "Bring it." I want this fight. Like with you and Marlon, it's you could have easily fought whoever, moved up, and then gotten the mandatory shot just because. Same with Marlon. She could have fought whoever because of her name and she's known. She could have been pushed into that shot again and got another higher fight. But you guys
You
said
know,
let's do it.
let's do it. I'm the one that's ranked number 4 by the WBC.
Yeah,
I'm the one that's up there, and it's a huge fight. Sometimes some people don't even know who the champions are.
yeah,
And Marlen and I are actually two big names. So I
yeah.
mean, it's a great fight.
And again, I can't wait. I know the fans can't wait, and October 30th cannot get here any sooner for us. And then also the day after that, there's great fights, two great fight cards on Top Rank on ESPN and PBC. So I mean that whole weekend's gonna take off. But honestly, and I hope you guys prove me
Gonna be a
right.
spooky weekend.
Yeah, I hope you guys prove me right. I have told people that your guys' fight will be the fight of the weekend. That's just my pick. I mean, there's gonna be a shot for everybody, but I know you guys. I know once you get in there and once you guys hit each other, it's not gonna be oh let's keep tapping. I think one of you is gonna piss the other one off to where you guys are just gonna go at it, and I can't wait because I've seen you fight hard. I mean, your last fight in January, you were dropping some bombs. I can't believe she never fully went down from one of your shots, especially in those still photos that they have of you landing on her.
Yeah. I mean, I think women, we have that. I mean, that's why we have babies because we can take that pain.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys can take some shots, and I mean, you guys both have experience of being cut as well and fighting through it. So I mean, I just know nothing's gonna stop you, nothing's gonna stop her, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, and again, I know you say you don't talk, but you threw a little something there, and I liked it because that shows again you're in the zone and you're ready for this fight. Um, before we go, is there anybody you want to shout out or anybody want to give a thank you to before we head out?
Thanks to you, thanks to everybody that reaches out and, decides to do an interview, not only on myself, but on other women boxers, because, we appreciate you all. Because of you guys, doors keep opening for us. So thank you all. Thank you to everybody that supports me on social media, that shouts me out, that, shows me love, retweeting, reposting, everything. Everybody that's, posting about my upcoming fight, saying Team Urbina, thank you. I appreciate all of you. I'm extremely excited for October 30th. Can't get here soon enough. And I know that the fans are going to win a great fight.
Yeah, and you guys definitely will. All the fans, you're gonna love it. If you haven't seen Salim fight, yes, look her up on YouTube. See some of her past fights. Look up on the Zone from January. Put on a great performance. Also, I had a guest maybe a month or so back who was an amateur, Talia, the Tiger. She came on and I asked her about you because she told me that you're one of her favorite fighters and she enjoys watching you fight. And she just liked actually talking with you a lot as well because you gave her a lot of insight and pointers. So I just wanted to let you know that because she did mention you as well when we talked. So yeah.
Keep on fighting.
Yeah. And real quick, one shout out from my side here. This is for Gaspacho Local right here on 3808 Northwest Avenue. Go ahead and get anything you want: mangonadas, tortas, ice cream, smoothies, anything. They got it all there. So go ahead and let them know 26 Sport sent you. Again, Sulem, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you in your fight. And just a reminder, so far, every guest that's come on who's had a fight after currently is undefeated. I hold a record right now of 6-0. So hopefully, God willing, with you it'll be 7. So best of luck. October 30th, guys, on the Zone. Tune in and watch not just her fight, but a great night of boxing. And in general, guys, well, please, please, please support women in sports, support women's boxing, support women's MMA, anything with women that are trying to push and improve out there. Support them. One of my passions that I'm doing right now. So I hope you guys follow as well. Again, that's going to be all for today. 26 Sports wanted to give you guys a shout out. Thank you for following along. Everybody that left comments and chats. We'll catch you guys next week. Again, thank